This is the Intercontinental Broadcasting Corporation. Sa bagong Pilipinas.
Good evening, this is 30 News.
We bring you the day's top stories
that shape the country and the world.
Let's get into the headlines right now. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has yet to decide on who he will endorse for the 2028 presidential election.
Southwest monsoon or habagat season continues as heavy rains are expected this weekend.
Heavy traffic hits major roads as Payday Friday rush comes.
Motorists brace for oil price hike next week.
And in news abroad, heavy rains trigger severe flooding in Japan and the U.S.
All these and more here on 13 News.
We begin tonight's newscast with President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. yet to decide on who he will endorse for the 2028 presidential election, saying it is still too early to name the administration's bet.
The president, however, said his choice will be someone he trusts to continue his administration's anti-corruption efforts, including the drive to hold those involved in infrastructure anomalies accountable.
The chief executive also said his political party, the Partido Federal ng Pilipinas, will seek alliances with other political parties for possible joint candidates in the 2028 polls. IBC News correspondent Harley Valbuena has the details.
I will certainly endorse a candidate in the 2028 elections. Who that is, I cannot tell you because even I don't know.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. still hasn't made up his mind on who he will endorse for the 2028 presidential elections. At the presidential luncheon organized by Foreign Correspondents Association of the Philippines, the president said it is too early or premature to declare the administration's bet for 2028.
I haven't sat down with anyone and said, do you want to run for president or not? No, we have not come anywhere near that. So the time will come. The time will come.
Meanwhile, he said his political party, Partido Federal ng Pilipinas, will form alliance with other parties for possible joint candidates. But when asked what he expects from the candidate he will endorse in the next presidential polls,
the candidate I will endorse will be somebody who I am confident will continue what we have begun in terms of the anti-corruption measures.
The chief executive stressed that corruption has been a recurring problem, not just in the Philippines but everywhere, and it must be ended for the country's better future. He also reassured that his government will continue to hold accountable those involved in anomalies on infrastructure projects. However, he defers to the ombudsman the fate of his cousin, former House Speaker Martin Romualdez, who is among those implicated in the flood control scandal. Harley Valbuena, IBC News.
Meanwhile, let's check the traffic situation tonight on this Payday Friday, starting with the North Luzon Expressway or NLEX. At the Balintawak and Mindanao toll plazas, traffic remains light, though a 1.4-kilometer buildup is noted at the Mindanao exit. Approaching Ciudad de Victoria northbound, motorists are slowed following an earlier road crash. Meanwhile, Bocaue and San Fernando toll plazas both report light conditions with no water buildup across NLEX, SETEX, and the NLEX connector. On EDSA Cubao, particularly at the Pituazon Boulevard intersection, traffic is moderate. Motorists are advised to plan ahead and expect slower travel times in these key areas tonight.
Bring your umbrellas because it's still going to rain until tomorrow. According to Pag-asa, the southwest monsoon will continue to bring rains over Luzon and the western section of Visayas. Although there is a low-pressure area being monitored outside the Philippine area of responsibility, it is not seen to affect the country. Based on Pag-asa's forecast, there will be occasional rains due to the southwest monsoon over Zambales and Bataan. Meanwhile, expect cloudy skies with scattered rains and and thunderstorms here in Metro Manila, as well as in Ilocos Region, Cordillera, Administrative Region, Cagayan Valley, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, the rest of Central Luzon and Antique. DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon expressed anger over 3 substandard flood control projects in Kalumpit, Bulacan after seeing homes submerged by floodwaters. The agency now plans to rehabilitate the failed dikes, install pumping stations, and relocate affected families to new housing units. Meanwhile, rising water levels in the Pampanga and Tulyahan rivers, as well as La Mesa Dam nearing spilling level, have prompted fresh flood warnings. IBC News correspondent Crystal Ramizares has this report.
Kailangan nga talaga ayusin na natin lahat ng mga binaboy nila dito. Bagi wala pa rin yung kulang yung nakulong paano natin aayusin to?
After inspecting damaged roads in Baliwag, DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon was upset over 3 substandard flood control projects in Kalumpit, Bulacan. Floodwaters reached the second floor of community houses due to low-quality dikes.
Yung mga dating mga taga-DPWH dito, kinaya ng sikmura nila na nakawin nga yung pera dito, na nakikita nila yung mga kababayan natin, ganitong buwan. Hindi talagang nakakadugo puso, Mayora.
3 barangays including Frances, Calizon, and Bulusan were affected by the failed flood control projects. Residents expressed support for Secretary Dizon's inspection, hoping to finally resolve the long-standing issue.
Sana maayos na yung flood control dito sa Kalumpit para nung mga tao di nahihirapan.
Nagkalubog na yung mga gamit ng mga anak ko, nakikitira na lang. Diyos ko.
Siyempre, yung volume ng tubig na dumadating sa ulan, hindi natin masasabi. Naglalagay ng sandbag para hindi masyadong pumasok ang tubig na galing sa amin. Kaya lang tumataas ang tubig dito.
With the rising water levels in Pampanga River, DPWH staff and members of the media had no choice but to lean down and crouch underneath the bridge during inspection. DPWH aims to correct and rehabilitate these projects using the longest-standing dike as a guideline to protect the communities from getting flooded. Pumping stations will also be delivered to Kalumpit to drain flooded streets back to the river.
Malaking tulong po ito sa aming bayan na binabaha dahil pag-asa po namin ito kumbaga pangarap po namin ito.
DPWH together with DOTR are planning to build 100 housing units in Bulacan to relocate affected families. Meanwhile, flood and traffic minimized along MacArthur Highway in Marulas, Bulacan because of a flood control project in Tulyahan River. However, Pag-asa already released a flood bulletin for the river, reminding all residents around Tulyahan to be alert. Pag-asa also declares La Mesa Dam almost reaching its spilling level of 80.15 meters due to continued rain. Crystal Ramizares, IBC News.
The Senate Committee on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change is scrutinizing the Pax Silica initiative, including its potential for investments and job creation, as well as its possible impact on the environment and local communities. Senate President Sherwin Gatchalian said he personally supports the initiative, which he described as a potential once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the country. However, he stressed that the project must comply with Philippine and local laws, ensure sufficient water and energy supply, and protect farmers and indigenous peoples from possible displacement.
Unang-una, nakikita ko na ito ay isang once-in-a-lifetime opportunity para sa ating bansa. Kung hindi ho ito papasok sa ating bansa, sigurado po ako papasok to sa Vietnam, papasok to sa Thailand, sa Indonesia. Ibang bansa ho ay tatanggapin ho ito.
Meanwhile, the Department of Trade and Industry, or DTI Board of Investments, clarified that the proposed AI-native industrial acceleration hub in New Clark City is focused on advanced manufacturing, not AI data centers. Moreover, the Bases Conversion Development Authority, or BCDA, said investors will provide the capital for the hub, including power and water infrastructure, with water requirements estimated at 65 to 90 million liters per day. The BCDA also said the plan is to use surface water harvesting and storage rather than groundwater extraction, as stakeholder consultations are expected to continue.
Ang gagawin po natin yung pong mga, hindi po to ground extraction sa mga lupa, halimbawa po kung sa mga residential o agriculture. So ang gusto po natin dito ay yung surface water harvesting. So gagawa po tayo ng mga tank para yung mga surplus water po na nasa mga ilog, halimbawa po ngayong tag-ulan, ay i-store po, yun ang lilinisin.
After a 2-week rollback, motorists should brace for a possible fuel price hike next week. Diesel prices are projected to rise between 3 pesos and 75 centavos per liter and 4 pesos and 25 centavos per liter. Gasoline prices are also seen to climb from 2 pesos and 50 centavos to 3 pesos per liter. According to industry sources, the possible increases are due to price hikes in the international market caused by declining hopes for a peace deal between the United States and Iran. Don't go away. 13 News will be right back after a few important reminders. Twenty-one people have been arrested following a raid on a steel facility in Davao City as authorities look into possible violations involving radioactive materials and steel products. The operation also prompted environmental and safety assessments while authorities investigate possible links between the company and other steel firms previously shut down over similar allegations. IBC News correspondent Bea Peniza has the report.
A joint team operation led by the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission or PAOK and the National Bureau of Investigation or NBI raided Davao Mighty Steel Corporation in Davao City. Authorities conducted the operation over allegations that the company was manufacturing substandard steel products and illegally handling and using radioactive materials that could pose health risk. According to NBI Director Melvin Matibag, Davao Mighty Steel products are widely distributed across Mindanao. Their investigation also found that the company's reinforcing steel bars or rebars were reportedly used in several structures that collapsed following the magnitude 7.8 earthquake that struck Sarangani in June.
Sanjia is not the first. So meron kami dun sa Bulacan, then dalawa na sa Pampanga, and ito nga Sanjia in this one. So yung investigation natin dito, because there's a tip-off na dumating sa atin na nagpuproduce nga ng substandards.
Aside from the issue of substandard products, authorities also detected higher than normal levels of radioactive substances inside the facility.
Chinek natin ito, series of test buys, series of examinations, tapos tinignan natin nga yung presence ng radioactivity. And lahat ito dumaan sa process ng pag-apply sa court ng search warrant bago tayo nag-implement ito. So we follow the procedures.
The Department of Environment and National Resources or DENR is now assessing the possible impact of the facility on the environment, nearby communities, as well as on workers. If found liable, the DENR says it may revoke the environmental compliance certificate granted to the steel company in 2012. Meanwhile, PAOK Executive Director Undersecretary Benjamin Acorda said that they are examining possible links between Davao Mighty Steel Company and two steel companies that were recently shut down. These are the Sanjia Steel Corporation in Misamis Oriental and Shuangsing Steel in Pampanga, both of which were reportedly involved Chinese nationals.
And I urge and encourage na sana maging active ang ating mga local government units. In fact, I'm intending to meet also with the different league of municipalities, mayors, and governors to really give them somehow insight about what is happening.
The National Bureau of Investigation also clarified the purpose of its operation in Davao City.
Dito kami sa Davao, ang nahuli namin hindi bato, bakal.
21 individuals were arrested during the raid for alleged violations of the Philippine Nuclear Energy Safety Act, the Toxic Substances and Hazardous and Nuclear Waste Control Act, the Philippine Environmental Impact Systems Act, and the Consumer Act of the Philippines. 174 Filipino workers were rescued from the facility. Meanwhile, the Davao Mighty Steel Corporation has yet to issue their statement regarding the incident. Bea Piniza, IBC News.
The Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, or PAOC, is emphasizing the safety and welfare of Filipino workers both in the Philippines and abroad, amid concerns over radioactive materials and the reported threat from China. PAOC Executive Director Yusek Benjamin Acorda Jr. said no Filipino should have to choose between earning a living and protecting their health, as the agency defends its raid on steel plants over allegedly radioactive materials. He also explained that China's threat of possible retaliation followed questions over why Filipino workers arrested in the operation were released, while Chinese nationals remained in custody.
No Filipino should have to choose between earning a living and protecting his or her health. With regards to the 10 arrested nationals, ang issue ng usapan dyan is yung discrimination. Bakit yung mga workers na Pilipino ay pinakawalan at yung yung Chinese workers ay hindi pinakawalan? Those were the issues na nire-raise ng China Embassy before they issued that statement to me na Beijing is considering retaliation.
Concerns on scholarships, medicine, and the high cost of basic goods were raised during the Legishere public consultation in Negros Oriental. The House of Representatives initiative has reached the Visayas, bringing Congress directly to communities and helping lawmakers craft laws that better reflect the needs of Filipinos across the country. The full report from Simon Ong of Congress TV.
For the first time, the Legishere reached Visayas. The nationwide public consultation initiative launched by the House of Representatives aims to bring Congress closer to local communities. Security was heightened as the event launched in Negros Oriental. Nearly 2,000 residents gathered at Negros Oriental State University in Dumaguete City. Among them, Rena Jane, a college student who hopes her voice on scholarship issues will be heard.
Hindi dapat may equality, dapat hindi equity na kung sino yung mga nangangailangan lang, yun lang ang tutulungan. Dapat may base kung may kakayahan man siya o wala.
Another attendee, Pablita, also came with her own wishes.
Oo, malibreng gamot, mababa ang mga presyo na sa bilihin, ganyan, lalo na sa akin, kaya mayroon akong sakit, wala akong pambili ng gamot.
House Secretary General Shelly Garafil stressed the program's end goal.
For us to make better laws na mas ramdam at mas reflective dun sa pangangailangan ng tao.
Meanwhile, Negros Oriental 2nd District Representative Sagar Baria thanked Congress for the initiative.
Pasalamat po ning Speaker Bochi D nga iyahang ginapili ang ato ang Dumaguete City, Negros Oriental sa first in the Visayas.
Next week, the House of Representatives will pause to review its launching period that has already covered Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. For IBC News, Simon Ong of Congress TV.
Bea Alonzo is adjusting to married life a month after her private wedding at the Makati City Hall. Bea hopes to have children with her husband, Vincent Ko. She also shared that she wants to be present for her children as they grow up. For now, she and Ko are enjoying their new life together as husband and wife. Pop singer Selena Gomez and her mother, Mandy Tiffy, are facing a lawsuit alleging fraud involving their mental health startup, Wondermind. Investors are suing the two women, claiming they were misled about the company in order to secure nearly $1.2 million in investments. The lawsuit also cites a 2025 report detailing allegations from former employees about Tiffy's conduct as the company's CEO. The former employees claim Tiffy went through periods of sleeping in her office and allegedly struggled with substance abuse.
Eastern Japan is dealing with record-breaking rainfall, with parts of China Prefecture submerged in floodwaters. Meanwhile, the U.S. Midwest is also grappling with widespread flooding as back-to-back storms continue to pound the region. For the latest developments, we now go live to CJ Reyes, joining us via Zoom.
Today, Narita International Airport resumes its flight operations after being hit with unprecedented heavy rains yesterday. While in the U.S., the country's Midwest is also being battered with back-to-back severe storms, bringing heavy rains, flooding, and strong winds in the region. At least 8 people have died after record-breaking rainfall pounded eastern Japan, with Chiba Prefecture among the hardest hit areas. Chiba City recorded an all-time high of more than 14 inches of rainfall, causing cars to be completely submerged. Local authorities also issued the highest alert level for heavy rain and landslides in parts of Chiba before downgrading the warnings as conditions improved. The extreme weather also disrupted travel, leaving around 7,000 passengers stranded overnight at Narita International Airport. Airport staff provided stranded passengers with sleeping bags, drinking water, and food as they waited for transport services to resume. Flight operations have resumed as scheduled today, with no cancellations reported. Meanwhile, severe storms continue to pound parts of the U.S. Midwest, bringing heavy rains, flash floods, and even tornadoes. Winds in parts of Indiana reached up to 150 kilometers per hour, causing some areas to accumulate 10 inches of rain. Hawaii is also bracing for Tropical Storm Lala, triggering a hurricane warning as it approaches the island. The storm is expected to strengthen as it approaches the Big Island, bringing the threat of heavy rain and strong winds. CJ Reyes, IBC News.
Thank you for those updates, CJ. The U.S. Central Command has launched its first ever multinational task force dedicated to attack drones. Called Task Force Falcon Strike, the unit will operate unmanned systems at sea, with military personnel from the U.S. and its partner nations working together. The launch follows 9 months after the U.S. established its first one-way attack drone squadron. Falcon Strike will build on the experience and operations of the previous Scorpion Strike initiative.
The Philippine Sports Commission, or PSC, welcomed home the Philippine weightlifting delegation after its record-breaking campaign at the 2026 Asian Youth and Junior Weightlifting Championship in Uzbekistan. The national team collected a total of 31 medals, 16 gold, 6 silver, and 9 bronze across the youth and junior divisions. The PSC praised their performance and also highlighted that many of the athletes began their journey in the Batang Pinoy grassroots sports program before rising to the international stage. Meanwhile, world number 8, Iga Swiatek climbed her first title of the season after defeating Elena Rybakina 6-2, 6-3 in the Canadian Open final, giving the 6-time Grand Slam champion a boost ahead of the U.S. Open. Swiatek dominated the final with sharp and fast play, breaking Rybakina 3 times and taking advantage of Kazakhstani's 12 unforced errors in the opening set. The victory marked Swiatek's first Canadian Open final and will send her back into the world's top 5 in the rankings. Meanwhile, Filipina tennis star Alex Ayala says she is honored to be compared to boxing legend Manny Pacquiao. Ayala said she never imagined that she would one day be compared to the 8th division world champion, as she also credited Pacquiao for inspiring Filipinos and bringing the country together. Ayala will next take on Romania's Elena Gabriela Ruse in the second round of the Cincinnati Open on August 15.
And it never really crossed my mind when I was watching his fights back home that one day I would be compared to him. No? And I think it's, I think the feeling that Pacquiao gave the Filipinos was great, to have someone to rally over. I think I'm still very, very far from the levels of Pacquiao.
And before we wrap up tonight's newscast, we bring you the results of the PCSO's 9 p.m. lottery draws. For the Mega Lotto 645, the winning numbers are 29, 34, 32, 9, 38, and 19, with a jackpot prize of 15 million pesos. For the Ultra Lotto 658, the winning combination is 28, 33, 10, 12, 22, and 23, with a jackpot prize of 206,672,120 pesos and 91 centavos. For the 4D Lotto, the winning combination in exact order is 0, 0, 5, and 4. For the 3D Lotto, the winning numbers are 5, 0, and 3. And finally, for the 2D Lotto draw, the winning numbers are 22 and 12. There are no winners for the Mega Lotto 645 and Ultra Lotto 658. Want to do something interesting for the weekend? Well, the Intramuros administration has something that you might just be interested in. Every weekend, Intramuros offers free walking tours led by Department of Tourism accredited guides.
Tours began at Fort Santiago and Casa Manila at 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Each tour can accommodate up to 25 people, so if you're interested, it's first come, first served.
Did you have a stressful week? Well, tomorrow is the right day to put all that stress to the side, because it's International Relaxation Day. It's the day to take all of that cortisol out of your system and give yourself a break from all the stress, because definitely you deserve it.
And those were the latest from the IBC Newsroom this evening. I am William Thio.
We'll continue to monitor the stories that matter and bring you updates as they develop. I'm Angela C.
And I'm Gabrielle Lopez. This is 13 News, keeping you informed. Good night.